How's it going, everyone? My name is TheStarkz, and welcome back to another The Last of Us Factions video. Well, unfortunately, Naughty Dog has made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on The Last of Us Online. On an article provided by NaughtyDog.com, or Naughty Dog themselves, basically on their official website, they state an update on The Last of Us Online. We realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. There's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game. We know this news will be tough for many, especially our dedicated The Last of Us factions community who have been following our multiplayer ambitions ardently. We're equally crushed at the studio as we were looking forward to putting it in your hands. We wanted to share with you some background of how we came to this decision. The multiplayer team has been in pre-production with this game since we were working on The Last of Us Part 2, crafting an experience we felt was unique and had tremendous potential. As the multiplayer team iterated on their concept of The Last of Us Online during this time, their vision crystallized, the gameplay got more refined and satisfying, and we were enthusiastic about the decision in which we were headed. In ramping up the full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting development on future single-player games. So we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. We are immensely proud of everyone at the studio that touched this project. The learnings and investments in technology from this game will carry into how we developed our projects and will be invaluable in the direction we are headed as a studio. We have more than one ambitious brand new single player game that we're working on here at Naughty Dog, and we cannot wait to share more about what comes next when we're ready. Until then, we're incredibly thankful to our community for your support throughout the years. And that's all. Now, I'm going to be pretty brutally honest here. I logged in on Twitter just before wrapping up my night, and I saw a bunch of quote tweets regarding people talking about The Last of Us Online. I was like, oh, is there news? Like, the one time I'm not on my phone, I log back on my phone and there's news on Twitter on a random Thursday night. And I go, it's regarding The Last of Us multiplayer. And from what I gathered, the mood from people quote tweeting said this is sad news. I think the first person I saw was Sancho West saying factions when, and then like underneath it, factions never. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, is there factions news or is he just hyping up factions? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh fuck, they canceled the multiplayer for The Last of Us. And I can't describe this feeling, but I don't want to like be dramatic, but in many ways, Naughty Dog and their multiplayers have defined me in my life. Like it, in many ways, Naughty Dog is one of my favorite video game studios. And as they said in this article, we know a lot of the Last of Us community has been following this multiplayer religiously, me being one of them. And I was looking so forward to this. I really thought The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered and that survival experience would kind of gear us towards what was coming for The Last of Us factions. But based off of their decision, it seems as though they had crafted a really compelling multiplayer, one in which I think all of us would really enjoy, but it came down to whether the studio needed to prioritize what they really enjoy creating, which is single player experiences. That's been the core of Naughty Dog for many years now. They craft a lot of great single player, Uncharted, Jack and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, The Last of Us. These are all at the core single player experiences. Yeah, they have multiplayer components, especially in The Last of Us and Uncharted, but ultimately these are single player games with really, really good just fantastic stories and narratives combined with it, and then obviously the gameplay and stuff. but I'm gutted. I am so gutted by this news. Like, I can't, there's no other way to describe how gutted I am. Because this year alone has been awful. And, we're just a couple weeks away from 2024. And I was really hoping that after the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, that The Last of Us Factions would have its run and I would be experiencing something phenomenal, something that I've never, to me, it's like, I was a bit emotional in the beginning of this video because I've been following Naughty Dog for a while. I talk about Naughty Dog like crazy on this channel. They're one of my favorite game developers. And I love The Last of Us Factions. I literally was playing with my friend recently, got a PlayStation, and I've been playing with him and learning the ropes with The Last of Us Factions with him, and he's been enjoying it. And he told me when we were playing, I really can't wait for The Last of Us Factions 2. When is Naughty Dog going to finish development on that game? And I laughed with him and said, listen, it's coming. I guarantee you it's coming next year. There's going to be an announcement, a trailer, and everything. And then they post this. I know I don't want to sound dramatic. I'm not trying to be dramatic. These are I'm genuinely sad right now. Like, I'm genuinely sad. Like, tears start to run down my face. And I'm like, dude, there's no way they freaking canceled this game. But like I said, it seems as though they're trying to prioritize single player. That's what they stated in this article, and that's just that, right? I really hope that in some, eventually someday we get to. I can't say we're gonna get The Last of Us Factions because it seems like they've stopped development on the game. Period. And I don't know what that entails necessarily, other than the fact that they stopped developing the game. They stopped developing the multiplayer, and I don't think we're ever gonna get it. I mean, it would be cool if they released some kind of half version of it, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's done for. I think it's more unfortunate that they've spent so much of their time remastering and remaking their game instead of just focusing on The Last of Us Factions. I understand that they're saying, in order for this to work, that they needed years of content, and I think they could have still pulled that off. And unfortunately, whoever made this decision, I don't think this was a collective decision, because as far as I'm aware, this was a very recent decision. I mean, Vineet Agarwal, who I covered a couple of videos ago, provided a little bit of an update saying, yes, I'm still working on that game, implying that multiplayer game. And I speculated that he's referring to The Last of Us Factions. So maybe he wasn't, but if he was, then this would mean that this decision was very recent. And I don't think it was like a month-long decision. I think this was a more recent decision that Naughty Dog realized that this won't work because we want to create single-player experiences, and they're working on 2 titles, single-player titles, and that's that. I'm honestly, I'm like, my mood is like really bad because like I'm so upset. I'm so upset that they canceled this, but I hope a few years down the line that we get some version of The Last of Us Online in some capacity. Will we? I don't think we will, but one could hope, right? But I'm honestly very curious to know everyone else's reactions. What do you think about this? What do you think about The Last of Us Online? Being the fact that it's like canceled, the fact that Naughty Dog has stopped working on this game. They've made the decision to stop development on it, and that it sounded like it was a really good, unique experience, or was going to be a unique experience with tremendous potential, but that ultimately that they wanted to focus on single player experiences. And so instead of creating this live service game where they would have to continue content for years to come, instead they decided to halt development on this and prioritize their single player experiences. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this news. Are you gutted as much as I am, or am I just a dramatic person? I don't think I am. I think this is genuine. I was playing The Last of Us yesterday, and for a couple hours with my friend, like I mentioned, and I don't know what else to say, to be honest. Like, I'm pretty upset, but I think everything happens for a reason, and I think Naughty Dog knows what they're doing. I'm still pissed and upset, obviously, but it is what it is. I might make a follow-up video onto this and just talk and kind of analyze certain things, because I do think this is a recent decision, and I think in a lot of ways it's quote-unquote unfair, because obviously they're letting down a huge part of their community. I'm just going to say what it is, which is that they're letting down a big part of their community, and like there's no sugarcoating that. Like we've been looking for this multiplayer for years now. And they fooled us once, right? And then I guess they fooled us a second time. So fool us once, shame on them. Fool us twice, shame on me. Shame on us. And I'm just like, I love that. Comes with love and respect to Naughty Dog. I understand their decision, I do, but we've been fooled. I'm just gonna be honest. In many ways, I even if it was 2, 3, 4 years that this factions multiplayer would come out, take your time, develop the content that you need to develop, right? But maybe I'm just in my emotions. Maybe I'm not making sense. Maybe I'm not being logical. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Are you upset as much as I am? Do you think Naughty Dog could have pulled this off? Because I think they could have. And let me know what you think that they're working on in terms of single player. Of course, I've been TheStarkz. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.